This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy and other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, the best of the best will go head-to-head. Every #1 seed will take the stage and fight it out for a spot in the playoffs. Hello and welcome to Day 3, número 3 of Masters Madrid, coming to you live from the Madrid Arena. I'm Mika Fabs on the desk today with Mimi and Kakuka. How are you ladies feeling?
Living the dream. I didn't know you were fluent in Spanish already.
Oh yes, now I am. I just said one word.
I want to hear your Spanish. I am technically fluent in Spanish, so, but...
You say technically,
Yeah,
and you live in Spain. I don't think that's
technically I live in Berlin. I live in Germany.
I just told Bea earlier, Bea, yo hablo un poco de español, pero entiendo bastante bien.
Exactly.
What's
You're
up?
so
Hello,
good at it.
Madrid.
You need to step up. Hear me out.
No,
First tech
no.
pause, you're taking a lesson. Oh, it's
Okay,
happening.
first tech pause. I'm down, but we're not going to get one because we're going to get into the matches and not have any tech pause.
Absolutely. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about what happened here yesterday because it was our second day, and we had amazing matches. And it started with EDG versus HyperX. I thought, actually, Mimi, that history was going to repeat itself since we've seen this matchup so many times, right?
Yeah, and it's always so close. EDG always ends up falling on the final hurdle. This has been their kryptonite since they've been going to these global events. But they finally best HyperX, but they do it in a very chaotic style. HyperX is playing a triple duelist comp with no Sentinels, and I actually think EDG showed a lot more depth compared to previous matches between these teams. They didn't let themselves fall into the chaos. I think they showed some good ideas, good mid-rounding, and really dealt with the hyper-aggression of HyperX, the best I've seen from them.
Yeah, exactly. And probably EDG is one of those teams where we think of them, we think of Kangan, you know, the operator, the flashy plays here on the big stage, where actually that was not the case. That was not what led them to victory. And I think good leadership and Haodong and those lurks, having what you were saying, that control of that mid round, certainly gave them the match.
I love how it's a new chapter for so many teams, right? And it was certainly the case for the second match yesterday as well. It was Sentinels versus Team Heretics. And Mimi, this was not only like superstar players on the field there, it was a masterclass in utility, post-plant, just about everything.
By far the best match of the tournament that we've had thus far. And I think the two teams that aren't necessarily, I'm saying, are the best of the tournament, but have shown the best form in their debut matchup. Both of these squads had really great ideas of how their opponent was going to play, how they were going to adapt on the fly, but also just had every individual we needed showing up. This was an absolute banger, and honestly, you can't even fault Heretics for losing this. One or two rounds different on that third map, and it could have been Sentinels, it could have been Heretics. So close.
I think it represented the perfect matchup and the perfect three maps, you know, with the teams and the studying of their opponent so well, and actually finish up on that third map with that 6-6 after the first half to actually, you know, focus on how they can step up in the game and tweak things around. And actually, Sentinels came up on top. They have to be ready for the first matchup today.
Yeah.
They slept.
For sure, for sure.
And I'm sorry, I just wanted to add as well that it's wild, first of all, that Sentinels are going from playing that last match to the first one with not a lot of prep time. But it also showed, I think, kind of a preview of how good this KC versus Sentinels game is going to be today.
I love that you said it was a preview because, yeah, you're absolutely right. It was just a little teaser of how far the teams can be pushed, right? But a lot of people might be asking what comes next. Well, we do have a Swiss bracket. So at the end of yesterday's show, we did a little draw to set the table for round #2. And, you know, I do have to ask you guys, these matches right now, we can hear the crowd right now, and they're going insane. This is going to be a banger match for sure.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. And we'll get a lot of time to talk about that one. But I want to talk about this second match because everyone's looking at KC Sen. But I think Genji EDG is going to be a sleeper banger. EDG is in great form right now. Like we were talking about earlier, they've refined their playstyle a lot coming into this event. And it's the same for Genji. I think that they managed to maintain their performance from Pacific here at Madrid in their opening match. So that one's going to be great as well.
Well, that actually brings us to today's Mastercard fan poll. Which team received the toughest draw? Is it going to be Sentinels? Is it Genji, Carmine Core, or EDG? Scan this QR code. Am I pointing in the right direction? Yes, I am right now to cast your vote right now. And I have to ask you guys, what was your reaction when that draw came on?
I mean, crazy, because you were talking about not having a lot of time to prepare, but actually everybody had like the same time. It's the resting time that you're going to need, and obviously the kind of time to watch your opponent that you're going to have a small advantage in. But I think that we can all agree that Sentinels probably have the toughest one. When I arrived later yesterday at the hotel, after the meeting, after the shadow, after everything, I got some food. When the food arrived to the hotel, I went downstairs. Celsius was coming back from the venue because of course they have to do interviews and all that, and I was like, I hope that you're going straight to bed.
Oh my gosh, but like, you know, that just goes to show how competitive this tournament is, right? And just how much pressure our teams are under, right? Let's actually take a moment to check in on some of the newbies that might be coming in for this tournament, because this kind of culture, this kind of, you know, competitive environment might be a bit of a shocker for them, especially since a lot are doing their first international tournament ever, Mimi.
Yeah, I mean, it is impressive that we had so many new players qualifying to the stage here in Madrid, and pretty much every single one of them has showed up and played excellently. The numbers differ a little bit. That's ACS on your screen between domestic and global. But what matters is they're having the same impact, having the same big moments. None of our rookies have disappointed yet, which is astounding.
And in such different roles, right? It's not only the duelists coming in, just to add in that new electric, super young player to your squad. We have Sentinels, IGLs, duelists, but also support players. I love the fact that 2024 is shaping this way.
Yeah, even new IGLs to this global stage. John QT's been in the game for a long time, but this is a big step to be leading Sentinels. He looked great on that stage. Every one of these players has been showing up. For me, this is already shaping up to be one of the most competitive global events we've had yet.
Absolutely, and it's, as we mentioned earlier, right, it heralds a new chapter of VCT. It heralds a new chapter of Valorant. So let's get into it. Let's talk about today's first matchup. It's the Clout match. Sentinels versus Carmine Corp. There's already been a lot of talk about this one on socials. You can see all of the fans just basically battling it out almost on social media. We have the fans. I can see a lot of blue over there, understandably.
There's a whole wall of it.
There's a whole wall.
Some have been saying, but I mean, you even see it in this tweet. Carmine Corp and Sentinels promising to use the opponent's bundle of the Classic for whoever wins this one.
These are Sentinels saying
No. Celsius will do it, I think.
Why are they scared? Why are they scared? I think the Celsius will sell to it.
No. He'd do it. He's a big supporter of the bundles.
And specifically his own.
Yeah. To say the least, I would say. But yeah, I mean, like, these are massive matchups. And as we mentioned, like, you know, there are a lot of new faces that are coming in here. And for Sentinels and for Carmine Corp, I think that, you know, the new flavor of these two teams is what makes this match so exciting, right? We saw an era where in Sentinels was like very aim heavy, very almost superstar-like. And now we're seeing almost like a hive mind coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Sentinels is the best they've ever looked. And I think maybe besides Loud and Heretics, these are like the two most electric fan bases that we have in Valorant. Every North American fan loves Sentinels. Everyone from France is France. What is that? The terrible East Coast accent that I've somehow picked up. But everyone from France is clearly putting support behind this Carmine Corp squad as well. You know the fans are going to be loud.
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday was crazy for Heretics. I do not expect anything else less from the KC fans.
Well, look at what we have here. We have a very interesting matchup just because of this series, right? We have TenZ and Magnum back on the stage, back facing each other once again. I think it's been a few years since we've seen this.
It was the late 1800s last time we
a few centuries ago.
Play up against each other. It feels like it's been that long, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. Magnum was in Fnatic, TenZ was in his prime back also in Sentinels.
He's in his prime now, Ben.
No, but they are both in their second prime if you think about it.
Yeah.
After that, Magnum, yes, he did go to play the next Masters Reykjavik back then, and TenZ had only be back for that lock-in, right? But we're longing for this moment where they're going to be back head-to-head against each other on their second prime, giving ult to this game, and also in different roles, different situations. TenZ advancing and moving on as a player, as a new role. Magnum also on the IGL, talking about those responsibilities and how they're merging with their new teams.
Yeah, it's been such a growth for both these players. When TenZ was playing on that Reykjavik stage, he was just running around and killing people on Jet. He was
the biggest star in Valorant.
Yeah, he was an agent of chaos. He was a star player. And now he's evolved so much. He's playing on the Gecko. He's playing on the OMEN. He's so much more of a team player, and he has a really, I think, a much more cohesive team around him, just because because Valorant has evolved so much. But it's the same for Magnum. He was kind of under Boaster's mentorship, not really as big a voice on that team. He was flashing his teammates in grand finals last time we saw him. Now he's leading KC to no, but it just goes to show how much he's improved. That he'll never live that flash down. How much he's improved. That he's now going and leading KC to the title in EMEA and beating Boaster.
Well, you guys just basically probably made me sweat here just thinking of the pressure these IGLs are on, right? But Carmine Corp, they were able to withstand all of that pressure of the big stage and pick up a huge win, 2-0 over FPX. Mimi, what did you think of that match?
So I think a lot of people look at this and will be thinking that, oh, this is FPX. How did they lose so many rounds? How is it so close? I disagree with that. Zeiss in the press conference said that there's 44 teams in the International League. Only 8 of them made it. Every team deserves their slot. Every match is going to be close. And I don't think KC looked in their best form. I think it's probably the weakest we've seen them all of this year, relying a lot on individual plays, on kind of late round adaptation. They looked a little bit shaky, but that doesn't actually worry me because I think they just needed one match like this to warm up, especially because it's against an FPX that has a super different, super chaotic style compared to EMEA. Sentinels is a team that's a lot more preppable, that plays a lot more of a style similar to what similar to what they're used to playing, which I think will make this matchup not easier by any means, but a little more comfortable stylistically for KC, especially with that warm-up out of the way.
The setting was also different, right? Because you're coming onto the big stage. I think that it was a pressured test, especially the way that FPX plays, and I think they passed it. Now moving on, as you're saying, to a different team. I think that they showed some of the cracks that you can see on some of those matches. We were looking at Lotus and probably how they have to advance also, and how every single team is going to study you in a different way and is going to put new questions on the table. I think that for today, they're going to be very ready because of, for example, things that we saw around Icebox, when they were so sure of what to do and how to counter their opponents.
Well, for more on Carmine Corp, let's send it over to Golden Boy and Coach Ang, who are standing by.
Coach, let me grab you here, my brother. How you doing? Feeling good today?
Yeah, today is okay. Yeah, I'm good.
You got a big matchup today. We've seen Sentinels pull off some pretty interesting strategies going into their matchup yesterday against Heretics. So you think you have anything clever for this matchup today?
To be honest, I want to say Sentinels, they're really great team. I respect them, their coaching staff, their club and their roster. So I feel like it should be. I hope it will be interesting match.
I think we're all very much anticipating it, man. Best of luck to you, brother. You have a good one. Back to you guys.
It's going to be a very interesting match for sure. And we just want to point out that there is an NA spy of sorts on Carmine Corp, right? We do have Narrate, who is ready to show NA what they've lost. He mentioned that in one of the interviews.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, is Narrate the player that we have to highlight time and time again? Of course, it happened in EMEA, but his debut here in the international stage was electric. So many times where he was getting the multi-kills, where he was getting the clutches, especially when the team needed it the most. He was the one bringing that round that turns things around and puts it on favor of KC. Again, from the roles that he's playing, coming from being a duelist to becoming one of the best supportive players.
Yeah, he wasn't bad when he played in NA.
He wasn't bad.
That's not the reason why Mad Lions had a pretty terrible season in Challengers. The reason he's great now is because he has a team and a coach that is building him up. He's been taken off Duelist for a lot of maps, switching over to the Gecko, to the Fade, playing these roles that are new to him, and that's all in the coaching staff, Zeiss and Eng's vision. They saw the talent in this guy, and now they're molding him into not just a wild superstar going out and fragging in Tier 2 games, but to someone who really fits this team's system and is great and disciplined in the util, but can still have those superstar moments.
You gotta respect about how Coach Ang is just able to make, he's like a kingmaker, right? He's able to bring superstars out of even the biggest rookies.
And there's a really great comparison there too, because I think Kaplan has done the same thing with TenZ. I think TenZ and Narrate are very similar, where they had this incredible amount of raw talent that was waiting to be refined, and we've seen that from both of them now.
Well, we did sit down with Shin and Narrate to talk about the team's glow up, so let's check it out with Sideshow, who sat down with him.
What's up? I'm here with Narrate and Shin from Carmine Corp. excellent to have you here at Masters Madrid. Shin, I want to start with you because you've seen the worst and you've seen the best. You really have gone through so much in what is a fairly short career playing at the top level in Valorant. Can you talk me through some of the emotional ups and downs of being on Karmine Corp for the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think it was like really hard, like for the first year, the last year. We didn't expect such results. And the only thing I can tell is like I'm really glad that I have a second chance with the results we did last year, because it was like really depressing. But now like team changed, the way we work changed. So like I'm hyped up again, like to play again. It was kinda hard last year because like with the New Zera leaving the team, we had some problems in the teams, so it was a bit depressing. But I feel like everything changed in the team now. I mean, in the new team, like we have a good environment. Everybody likes each other, and it's really cool to play.
Yeah, I've been following the Karmine Corp stuff behind the scenes. Org's putting out very good videos, and it seems like the team culture is working very, very well. Nare, can you talk to me a little bit about what the environment behind the scene is like? Because you guys are practicing a ton. It feels like you're all very involved with everything you're doing, hyping each other up at all times. It seems like a very positive atmosphere.
I mean, we all are like very like hungry players. We're all new to like this like VCT and new experience, so we all want to win. We all want to do everything we can to win. So I think that's like the first quality. We all just want to be here. And the second one is obviously we have our coaches who definitely lead us really in the right direction. We have like obviously Eng, who's really smart. He gives all the details on the game while also being not making it like super like tense atmosphere. He's always super casual and like really friendly with everybody. Same thing with Zeish. And we also have a performance coach, UN, and he's really helpful on like even going past like just like the surface level like friendships and stuff like that, trying to make us like really know how to work together as a team. And it's definitely really important for a lot of teams. Like obviously Fnatic last year had him, and I think it helped them a lot. And for us, I can definitely feel it that everybody is being helped by this, and it just brings us all closer together, like just naturally, and we know how to deal with certain situations, with how to talk to people and stuff like this, so we never run into like, oh, this guy's just mad at this person all the time for something that happened in the past. Like everyone gets over stuff pretty easily, and yeah, it's just everyone's really chill.
So, I mean, talking about chill, when you guys begin matches, Zeish is hyping you up by asking, what is the color? And you guys are responding blue. So I wanted to kind of quiz you a little bit, because if you're the blue experts, if you're the color experts, I wanted to get some opinions, right? So, 3 colors. They may all look like blue. No, you fools. One of these is called periwinkle. Which one do you reckon is periwinkle?
Periwinkle.
Periwinkle is like a goofy name.
1, 2, or 3?
It's like goofy on.
Yeah, goofy name. Like the third one looks like a goofy color as well.
Goofy color.
Goofy
all right,
color.
Shin reckons this one is periwinkle.
Yeah.
Correct. That's glaucous, indigo, and periwinkle. What are colors?
Glaucous?
Just ridiculous.
Glaucous blue.
All right. What's the color?
That's not even blue.
Oh, you're like asking us a question?
Yeah, what's the color?
Yeah, no comment.
What's the color?
No comment.
Teal.
I mean, nearly. That one's teal, actually. What's the color?
Really?
I don't know.
None of them are blue.
Yeah.
All right, what about this
Only
one?
know blue.
One of these is the Karmine Corp blue, but the other 2 are not.
I know this one.
I mean,
I know
I
this
think
one.
it's.
1, 2, or 3?
I mean,
We're telling
You're
the
not
same
wearing
time.
Karmine Corp blue.
Yeah. It's just, you ready?
all right.
3, 2, 1, 1. No way.
No way.
Shin's correct.
Yeah.
It is
But
number
like
1.
it's not the same color.
Yeah, but the
no, I
one,
know.
like the logo we use, like in VCT, is the.
Oh, I mean, I was
Yeah.
just thinking of the jersey.
No,
That
yeah.
would have said 1.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
For sure I would have.
Yeah. You've managed to dig yourself out of the hole.
Yeah, 100%.
You can still apply for that French citizenship.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me, both of you, and good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn, Sideshow, that was quite tricky. I thought it was gonna
warm up.
I love that warm up.
I need that.
I
He's
need
in
that.
the
I need
zone
that.
right now. Look at him getting the massage.
Who is that? Is that Zeish?
Shin. Oh, giving the massage?
Yeah, give it.
Actually, I don't know.
I think it might have been Zeish.
Who was it? Oh wow.
That's why they're so good.
That's some warm
You're saying hello to us. Hello, Zeish. We love you.
Hello. Well, of course, on the other side, though, I don't see Sentinels getting any massages or getting any warm-up massages, but they are very resilient. I mean, we saw that yesterday. When they were down, Mimi, Coach Kaplan called a timeout, and they picked it back right up.
Yeah, it was this impressive comeback in Van, because this map honestly started off dreadful. HyperX was running them over with the retakes, and then it took one timeout. Kaplan got his input, and Sentinels rallied.
Exactly, and it's actually, they started down on every single map. Probably something that they have to address for today. They need those stronger starts to be able to close out the match. But it's what you're saying, that timeout from Kaplan being like, guys, they're wrapping you up, they're reading into your read. You need to be aware of your surroundings, have that awareness, and actually go onto them. Zek, and feel as comfortable as you are. Tense. Oh, I hate that expression, but he actually did it.
I don't hate that expression. Can we break that down?
It's because of the way it sounds. It has nothing like
pop.
Yeah, I don't.
Pop, pop.
I mean, there are words that I don't like in English. I assume that there's, but going back to it.
I like all words. I think they're beautiful. But I think this comeback, when Sentinels have talked about their ability to do so in the press conference last night, Celsius was mentioning that he thinks the team is blessed because they won a lot of these comebacks early in the team's history when they were playing in the offseason, pulling off some crazy things, which means that now the team has this really wholehearted belief that in any one of these situations where they're down, they're not really losing. They always believe they can actually make that comeback happen, and I think it really shows, because if it's just one strategic adjustment you have to make, if people are wavering, if people aren't feeling it anymore, it's so hard to make that instant switch, but Sentinels have done it match after match.
Yeah, exactly, but if we are going to crown them the winners of this Masters, we need to see more.
Sure.
We need to see them actually setting the foot into the maps, into the whole ecosystem and the entire match.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what that next level will be from Sentinels and eager to see how #blessed they truly are. So let's send it back to Golden Boy, who spoke with Coach Kaplan earlier.
Live, laugh, love.
Coach Kaplan, if you don't mind giving me a few moments of your time. Good to see you, brother. All right, man, this is obviously a quick turnaround time for you guys. Really, how you feeling about the squad going into it? Are you feeling comfortable, especially against a formidable opponent in Carmine Corp?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. They've had 2 nights to rest and 1 full day to clean up their game. We've had 1 full night to rest, and in the case of us, coaches not rest. It's not fair, and it doesn't make any sense. That being said, we're no stranger to tough roads, and we're not taking any excuses. We're here to win, and if we lose, that's on us. So.
All right, respect that, brother. There you go. Best of luck to you no matter what. You already know that. Good luck, bud. Back to you guys.
Conditions are tough for this team, but as you mentioned, as we kept talking about earlier, they have this ability to you can't ever count them out.
For sure, they're definitely used to these situations. In Americas, they played more rounds of Valorant than the rest of the teams in playoffs combined. They went through every game of play-ins, every possible game of group stage. It has been a really long run for them to make it here. Even in the offseason, they played more than any other team in Americas. This is a squad that is no stranger to these kind of circumstances. Kaplan was telling me before the Americas final, 3 hours of sleep. He told me last night,
oh my
5.
God.
So it's already an improvement.
I love the fact that we're seeing also the same kind of thing for K-Corp, right? They had to play through that lower bracket into the play-in and then go on to get that revenge and win in the finals. This is a very similar story, but I think they had an easier time and they surprised us more. I feel like Sentinels were like fighting against the waves time and time again, but they managed to do it here. I love the way that Kaplan has that winner mentality of no excuses. If we lose, that's on us.
But the difference is that prep time is very impactful. Carmine Corp is a team that is really good at coming up with those anti-strats when they have the time to do so. The team constantly talks about how good Eng's game plans are when they have the time to do so. So I think that is a big advantage for KC heading into this match.
And I think that's what makes this match, really deadly for both teams, right? You have such little prep time, and that means that's where the ante comes in. There's no other way. You just have to outthink and outplay each other, right? But a big part of that also is like the energy that Sentinels brings, and I think a big part of that is Celsius. And you can see it, right? You can see how he'll just yell on stage, he'll smile, he'll lift everybody up and, convince everybody to buy the Sentinels bundle, of course. But Mimi, he's just a powerhouse also in-game.
He's more than just a salesman. When his teammates talk about him, they describe him as the player who gives them a reason to play, that reminds them what they're here for. He's really good at giving his teammates energy, being that emotional leader, but he also will have games like this one. Yeah. I think if it weren't for his clutches on Lotus, Sentinels wouldn't be here. It would have been Team HyperX instead. In a close match like that, little pop-offs like this, giving your team the energy, those things that are less easy to point out and that are easy to point point out, like, his clutches are both so impactful for Sen's win yesterday.
Well, when you talk about these two teams, you actually cannot talk about them without talking about the duelists. We have Zekken versus Martin and Bea. We talk about these two. We talked about them earlier. How exciting these, they have the same kind of like agent pool. They kind of mirror each other in a way. So this head-to-head is going to be so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that Zekken did a brilliant job yesterday. I think that he was being extra aggressive when the team needed it most. Probably, Celsius was on his ear being like, just my man, just jump in.
Just go in. We got you.
And also the combination of him and Tense is going to be very similar to the one that we're going to see between Narrate and Martin. And, probably we haven't talked about Martin so much because we've been focusing on Narrate, but this is the same. And Martin brings something different to the team. He's going to be playing on the Euro. He's going to be on his own and making displays in some of the instances. But the electricity from both have to be ready on stage.
Did Zekken almost just fall out of his chair when we came into that clip?
I think so. I think it is.
If he can stay in his chair this match, he's going to be great again.
And hopefully less friendly fire on his side. He did acknowledge that.
It is kind of messed up. It is kind of messed up
that
his stats didn't show those 2 extra kills.
Hey, they did say that, like, John Cutie did say, like, hey, if he has to kill me in order to win the round, then so be it, right? I will be the sacrificial lamb. But I think that, these, again, you point out how, like, this tandem is going to be so interesting to watch. You have Zekken and Tense, you have Martin and Narrate. That's going to be where my eyes are at, actually, on this match, because it's going to be, it's going to boil down to the wire, especially since we talked about all of the pressure that these teams are going through. And at the same time, this is a breakout for John Cutie as an IGL.
Well, yeah, it absolutely is. This guy has been grinding in Tier 2 for a long time. Yeah. Started his career in the MENA scene, moved over to Canada for college, competed there in Tier 2, finally made it to Tier 1 with Sentinels, and now he's IGLing his first global tournament, which is really impressive. He's also reunited with Coach Kaplan, who they played together back in Tier 2, and I think the system that both of them have built is really parallel to the impact that the coaches have in KC. For my money, these two teams are the two that have the strongest read on the meta right now. I think Sentinels finds a great balance between playing meta stuff like that Gecko comp they switched to on Bind and doing things that enable their players that is more based on comfort. And on the other hand, for KC, they're playing stuff that no one else is, that I think is also on the forefront, like those their split comp where they're playing the double smokes and the Yoru. Both these teams have such great ideas and also such electric individuals. This is going to be a fantastic match.
Oh yeah, for sure. But for now, we're going to take a little break from that discussion because it is time for the results of our Mastercard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you which team had the toughest draw for round 2, and the results are in. People think it is Carmine Core. Bea, do you agree?
I mean, probably this is because of the time zones. In this one, I'm going to give it to you.
You're using my cope.
No, I mean, your cope was that the people in Brazil didn't speak English.
Wait, that's, again, she's twisting my words. That's not what I said. I love Brazil. I love Brazil. I love Brazil. Let me mind control you.
Well, I believe you. I believe you.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I think it's very jarring because KC and their fans, they do have the opportunity, quote unquote, to make it here to the stage. So of course, if just with a few hours difference, get on a train, get on a bus, and maybe can't they get here by train?
Don't get me started talking about trains. Don't get. I'll ruin. How long do we have? That's 2 minutes 36 seconds. We have better things to talk about.
Okay. But
the first time I'll say that, maybe the last two.
But yeah, making it here for some of the KC fans is very important because we've known how the support has been unconditional for this team, and definitely is going to give them some edge.
Yeah, and I'm eager to see how Sentinels will be playing up against a kind of sort of the home court of Carmine Corp, right? They're gonna have to deal with the blue wall that has showed up in support of this team. So they're gonna be looking like the villains, but that is no stranger. Annie is no stranger to that role, I would say. But for now, while we are waiting for map select, Mimi, I'm thinking like right now we can see that our teams are getting ready, and I think like you can feel that energy. You can feel that energy coming out, and I believe our coaches are standing by for map select. So let's listen in.
All right, welcome to Map Select presented by OMEN. We will start with the first one of the day. Sentinels, you were higher seed via the draw, so you will get to choose Team A or Team B.
Take Team A.
Team A. So KC will be Team B, and Sentinels, we will start with your first ban.
Ban Icebox.
Icebox, your ban?
Ban Sunset.
Sunset, and map number 1 from Sentinels.
Pick Split.
Split, side on Split.
Defense.
Defense. Map number 2.
Pick Lotus.
Lotus, side on Lotus.
Pick Attack.
Attack. Okay, next set of bans, starting with Sentinels, you have Ascent, Bind, and Breeze.
Ban Ascent.
Ban Ascent, your ban? You have Bind and Breeze. Ban Breeze. So map number 3 is going to be Bind, Sentinel, side on Bind.
Attack.
Attack. All right, good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
It was so fast. Last time we had like 10 minutes stack.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. I think that probably these maps are the best that we could get from all these teams. I would have changed maybe the Bind for the Sunset, but actually the fact that neither of them played the Breeze, what was going to happen with that map, it may be a crazy pick or maybe a very ballsy ban, but I love the fact that we're getting Split, that we're getting Lotus. This is perfect for this matchup.
It's the best possible map pool for a match I'm so excited for.
Yeah, I can feel the excitement already. So let's get this day started. It's going to be Sentinels versus Carmine Corp first, and later on we have EDG versus Gen G. That is day 3 for Masters Madrid, and it starts right about now.
EDG, fourth time is the charm as they finally bested HyperX.
对于我来说，这是一个 PRX 是一座山吧，然后我们跨越这座山，全面的一个决斗者，不仅仅只靠我的名句，对，因为我的信念吧，因为我要变成世界第一人。
지금의 는 그래도 이제 청소년기가 조금 지난 그런 사람인 것 같아요. 제 IGL링 방식 자체가 팀원들이 잘하는 플레이 방식을 약간 돋워주면서 더 잘할 수 있게.
Genji Crush Loud looking so good.
我觉得他们对于我来说是家人，所以说他们一直的相信，一直的对我的肯定，一直对我的支持，所以说我要做得更棒，所以说不能让他们失望，对于我失望，所以说我觉得我会带着这些东西一起前进，跟我的家人们。
저희가 남아있는 경기들도 좋은 성적으로 걷어갈 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
Any predictions for a match against Sentinels? So is it nostalgic being back with them? And how do you think it could go?
It's weird to be honest, because it's like happening deja vu, I'd say. Yeah, it's it's been 3 years. It's been a long time, so yeah, it would be quite cool to face them again and this time to take the win.
Playing against Carmine Corp is definitely going to be tough. Narrate, I already knew he was a strong player. When he was playing challengers here in NA, he was putting up really good numbers even though his team wasn't that strong.
Out and over, Narrate can't be stopped, man. It's just disgusting.
I had a couple trials for NA teams, and I think they were extremely well. It just, I kind of got unlucky. The teams that qualify from NA are not like the teams that I expected to play for last season. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm here in Carmine Corp, and we're obviously doing way better than those teams I was talking about. To be honest, like, revenge is not really on my mind. I'm just really excited to play the NA teams at least, because, like, you know, I could have been in their region playing, but now I'm in a different region playing with a new team. NA isn't the only region that can be dominant. There can always be European teams or NA players going to different regions and still performing, like, really well.
Second is so mechanically just filthy. Look at him go! Many people had no idea this guy is just giving him hell.
Zekken is an incredible player. I think we've all known this. He's just Zekken.
I would say the difference between 2022 Zekken and right now, I have a lot more experience than I did 2 years ago, and I'm a lot more confident in myself as a player than I was.
Going up against Sentinels will be quite a challenge. They're probably the most dangerous team at this tournament. For me, I don't really think about winning or losing. I just think about playing the game that's in front of me and learning as I go.
As a whole team, I think Carmine Corp is very strong, but I believe that I can outduel anyone in the world.
One of the biggest matches of Masters Madrid is coming right up. Sentinels versus Carmine Corp. The kickoff winners of their respective regions, NA versus EMEA, is a tale as old as Valorant itself. But Mimi, it's matchups like these that signal a whole new chapter of this rivalry.
It absolutely is. Both these teams have massive fan bases behind them, people cheering them on. But for both these squads, they have defined their past failures. At one time, both these squads were the memes of their region, the teams with a lot of clout but no skill. And now they're the two squads defining the meta at the forefront of the VCT with some of the best players in the world.
And just because of that Swiss stage, we get to see them head-to-head today. Maybe some would say a little early, but this is probably one of the matches that people were expecting the most. And not only the people, also the players. Of course, for Sentinels, they want to go up against the big guns of EMEA, and for EMEA, it's never different.
Okay, I did hear something in the press conferences yesterday, and Martin was like saying that bunny is good luck for him. So if that bunny comes out, you know he's dropping 40K, apparently.
Le bon lapin.
You said it, now you cursed it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This desk, I forget the power that this desk has sometimes. But you know, these two teams. If you told me that we would be seeing this match in, you know, the first international event that Valorant has, I would have been like, alternate universe maybe?
Yeah, it is really shocking the comeback that both these teams have had. But I think the things to be excited for are, first of all, the map pool. We're starting on Split. Sentinels looked unbeatable on this map in Americas, and it was the exact same for Carmine Corp. But they play incredibly different styles, playing the Yoru noise denial comp with this double dive for Carmine Corp, and playing the old standard comp, but just executing on it incredibly well. For Sentinels, this is a map about their protocols and how strong they are at finding the right timings on defense, at making the right calls. This is, in my opinion, the best map for both teams.
Protocols, that is the word, Mimi. Of course, Casey is going to try and disrupt and break the protocols for Sentinels. We need to take back and think about those retakes, how good they've been in the region, especially when playing competitions like this one. They know how to administrate the utility throughout the round. They know how to, as I said, disrupt your position, your thinking, and your interpretation of the map. But this opponent is not going to be an easy one.
Kaplan in the press conference last night, he said that this tournament was about prep, was about anti-strat, because there was not a lot of turnaround time for teams to switch up their strats. The issue here is, for Sentinels, 14 hours of prep since their game last night. You gotta sleep for at least some of those. And on the other hand, Carmine Corp have had a good amount of time for Aang to come up with a counter strat. They're so good at implementing that.
Ooh, and right now, as we're seeing our agent select, we are seeing Martin bringing out the Yoru that we talked about. So that head-to-head we talked about, like, it's gonna be a double duelist this time.
I love the fact that we get the double duelist, that we get to see the split, because we're going to see now Raid playing on that duelist. We had enough of the initiator, and this duo also combined with Magnum and how he's going to be initiating and gathering that information is going to be key to the success of Casey.
Everyone's seen Sentinels comp before, but if you haven't watched Carmine Corps, the things to look for is how they're pairing the teleports in their comps with audio denial. They have Fade Seize, they have Fade Alt, they have Omen Paranoia. They have all these tools that take away your ears, and then they have Yoru Gate Crashes, Omen TPs to get behind you. They're so dynamic in the way that they double dive on their retakes on defense and on their attack side hits.
Yeah, exactly. And do not forget about the Astro as well, another key element there.
Well, let's get this match started and bring in your casters. It's Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, forget the bundles, forget the clout. This is two teams, #1 seed in their respective regions, going at it for that straight shot to playoffs. It's all on the line here right now. I mean, we are expecting an absolutely incredible series between these two teams.
Especially given the map pool that we have in front of us. These are the teams playing at the top of their pools. And they're the teams coming from the regions that have lifted trophies in the past. The #1 seeds coming out from Americas and from EMEA. There was no guarantee that we were going to get this game throughout the tournament. Nope. Swiss tossed the coin and it landed on a goated match.
We set our sights here onto Split. As you've already mentioned, very good map for both of these teams. It's going to be mind games on mind games, I'm sure, as we get deeper and deeper into the series. I mean, we attribute a lot of the strengths of both of these squads down to their retakes, the fundamentals. Maybe we might see that being picked apart.
Casey looking to see if there's any aggression at mid here. Sentinels, you can see just from their pistol round buy, they're not planning to go for an aggressive pistol strat. Zekken did not buy the blast packs, go for the boom bot instead. Full utility on the Sky. looking to try and play a more defaulty pistol, punish the aggression from KC, which may be happening in mid, actually, as Thomas took a little bit of damage.
Almost first blood going away. Sentinels here, just a bit of chip damage and away. Narrate spamming back and forth, exchanging with the bullets. No casualties. It is so slow going.
I was taking a look at Magnum and Martine, who were thinking about getting information over towards B Heaven, but they didn't actually spot that SEN are going for the walkout.
Contacts on contacts, but a stack of KC. They've got the players here. Pull, triggered, Prowler through, along with the decoy. A lot of noise being made.
And the mid-round audible here now. 30 seconds left. SEN, we're going to accelerate into the A side, but they're worried in case it's some kind of a trap. Well, Zelsis goes for more info, punished, but that is finally going to make the call. Sassy gets the spike down, planted for Heaven.
Exactly so, and I'm going to be paying close attention to this.
I mean, this is where the Sentinels protocols have been immaculate in Americas, constantly stopping their opponents from taking Heaven control. Playing so well around that area, understanding what their opponents want to do.
Absolutely, make the same argument for Carmen Core here. Paranoia being held and primed, ready and waiting. Was a flash to set that right up. Narrate will fall. Nade, unfortunate there, gets stuck into the wall. So no rebound for Zek, and the rest of now Carmen Core willing to just try and take the fight straight through into Elbow. That's going to be some ground gains, but oh my, the bodies falling and toppling. Pistol round for Sentinels.
Lovely performance, really well played, highlighting the strengths of SEN right from the beginning there, which is that they understand how their opponents want to play on split. There is a meta that's developed over the course of probably the last year or maybe a little more, which is plan for Heaven, try to retake Heaven control as the post planners, and the retakers are going to end up flooding often around that Heaven area. And SEN are so good at anticipating what their opponents want to do and stopping them.
Yeah.
You see how they sent that flash just to disrupt what was happening. The timings were all perfect.
I'm sure they can upset some of that. Well, a little bit in the weeds there. I mean, just catching on to one another with the bodies, but they're going to be granted a ramp control deep in the position.
And this does look like a round where both teams have opted for the opposite side of things. KC stacking 4 players over towards B main, hoping that things were going to come into them. And instead, Sentinels getting a very easy A site. There was a lot of talk, Brent, in Americas after Sentinels went on their fantastic run about whether this version of them playing split was just the best in the world. And for me personally, it looks awesome, but you have to see it tested at an event like this and go up against other top teams, like KC, for example, before you can make claims like that.
This might be one of the biggest tests they've ever had. Carmen Core still danger here, even though they are on the eco round. You never want to count this team out, especially with how drilled they are. Look at them playing together, piece together, but so are Sentinels, always side by side, not leaving any gaps, nothing to chance. So it will be nice and easy sailed round. We'll shin the last one left, and time ticking away. We're going to be paying close attention as well if you want to talk about general matchups into this. I mean, on this map, we get an absolute treat, don't we? Narrate versus Zekken on the Razors with that head-to-head.
Yeah. I mean, what a head-to-head. That really is spectacular. And Tenz has moved off the Yoru on bind, just unfortunately exactly aligned with when he could have gone up against Martine, as we were thinking of later on into the pool.
The roles might get funky. I mean, Narrate's playing all sorts.
Yeah.
Into the initiators.
But here we go. KC with rifles back online, and Sentinels with a great buy themselves. Second picks up the judge. He was talking about how much he was playing that on split during his rank games since being in Madrid.
That was advice he gave me in Korea. He was like, if you're losing your rank games, just force the judge.
Well, we'll see how it works for him.
Getting in their faces. It was definitely working out the other day in their match versus Heretics. Trailblazer straight in the middle, up the gut, through the side. Prowler knifed. Second, he's set up for success and even more. He's deep now. Fox in the pen. Looks like he wanted to try and overextend, but now here we go, an attempt to try and reclear into mid. Trip, Broken John might be in some trouble, has to call for some backup and reinforcements. Fights happening all over the bloody place, yet still the movement is clean. Satchel there, Trip in his face, and the Narrate still wins that one out, but the side has been fully taken. Territory now for Sen. Carmen Core forced to slow it down now. Side by side, Narrate and Shin going to be holding hands through this one, but they've got a lot to chew through.
This one way that Shin's looking to pop, very difficult for the post planners to deal with. Celsius goes for a peek early on, trying to play Zekken in.
It's a bit of that information, yet close to Raptors, close to the corner. Narrate plucks him out. Now brings it to the 2v2 with an nade rebounding. Did they know? Did he expect it towards new box? Half clearance. Celsius just a one-and-done shin. That is nasty. Nasty business, man. That's a 2v3, and you can start to see it. The signs are live here for Carmen Court.
Yeah, that's a great work from both Shin and Narrate. But at the same time, a very expensive bonus round. Look at the economical difference here. SEN have so much more money to be able to work with. KC on the verge of not even being able to buy in this round. Great awareness though, really well cleared, all of these different angles. Very fast from Shin, clearing out these two final players to trade Narrate too. So it's a big round and Magnum gets on his feet early. But things do not get any easier. Like I said, the economy's in a really rough spot right now for KC. They're coming into this next round with 2 Bulldogs and a Stinger.
Money is odd. Look quite weak. Martin going to be set up in a 4 position, has the gate crash. Just to back out in case it's necessary. Sentinels opting for a much slower beginning. A bit of spam exchanged. Led Halen down on either side.
And KC's retakes have been fantastic. Both of these teams look amazing on the split retakes. But Sentinels will try and force the fights before that's even a possibility.
Flash. Chance of the repeat. Nades gonna fly straight past each other. Zek, and he's already way further ahead than anticipated.
It's just so good. The way that he breaks the Prowlers whilst continuing to scale, whilst continuing to move forwards. He's done it with the knife and with the run and gun movement with the Phantom there. It just ruins what KC are going for.
Mechanical ability off the charts. Tomsey feeling the heat, turned up, sent out the Paranoia, but now backs away. Trying to play for the life. Giving up Heaven Control, gives up B as a result, but maybe I'll be able to just pick him apart from the side here. Is he going to get lucky with a few stray bullets? Not quite. Sassy. Minor bruises, basically. It's going to be that plant down now with 5 players up and kicking. Martin holding that flash out wide. Magnum not expecting it, not anticipating it. Showstopper now earned.
This is what I'm talking about. SEN forcing the fights before the retake can even happen. The swing timing there from Zekken was excellent. It shut this retake down before it could even begin. And KC were getting so many of these 4v5 round wins against FPX because FPX would, I mean, to be kind to them, throw it away. And SEN are just not going to do that. If they get up early, they have the discipline and the player strength to be able to close this out. They've been working on that since October. Both of these teams grinding away in separate regions. But I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing here that's allowed Zekken to get the entry both of these times is that he's just disrespecting the Prowlers. He knifed one of the Prowlers, got through and managed to get a kill with the Judge. And then this time,
just run straight past him.
Narrate thinks there that the Prowler's got a tag onto somebody, I think, or at least he's putting pressure on someone and giving him space to be able to swing. That is not the case. Zekken was so ready for that. He's 7-1 on a tag side split right now.
Dominating. Much like last night as well. I mean, Sentinels, you talk about this team. Last one's out, first one's in. Haven't had much time to prepare for this one, but the form factor playing its part here. All the Sentinels players looking warmed up and ready. B main control. It's going to be the name of the game. So Sentinels are giving it basically for free, just the 1 snake bite in exchange for that one.
And most of this pressure has been coming through mid. This time, Zekken moves his way over towards B main. Tomaji might have gotten a spot there.
Oh, it's going to get explosive. Yeah, as soon as he spots that one, Paranoia. Good to send that one out, yeah. Actually fantastic, but still close to the corner. Ducks and weaves. How the hell is he getting that? From target, but to take it most likely. The nade rebounds, and Zekken, man, he's going to build himself up to another one.
That's unbelievable. And a snipes Martin up there, I believe it was, with the showstopper, and then also gets a nade kill too.
Unreal. And SEN, easy as it goes, isn't it? Look at that, they can pick and choose the targets. Who wants to get the plan? Who wants to earn their ult next? Sassy, okay, you're up. Keep the war machine chugging.
And that's the big thing, right? Once you start to get momentum like this, this was only a bit of an anti-eco round. KC still had 3 rifles, if you want to call the Bulldog a rifle as well. But it wasn't a full buy for them. SEN used a big ultimate, but they managed to get another one online too. So this ult cycle is now going to start to push forwards, and things only get more difficult trying to hold off Zekken when he has the Seekers to be able to entry behind too.
It's a vicious cycle.
And this is all before we get to see SEN playing on the defense side, where I think they've also looked spectacular. In fact, might have looked better if you were thinking about how you weigh up their attack versus defense side split.
Yeah, I mean, I would make that argument. Defense side, they have so many different looks on it. Now, Carmen Court as we've already mentioned, haven't really had time to pick themselves back up after the series of losses. The economy has never really been honest at any of these points. Look at them working with classics there for Magnum. I mean, now you're going to see, hopefully, a bit better weaponry. I mean, it's half armor, a couple of rifles, still the Bulldog being kept for Magnum. Of course, we can see this.
Yeah, and another opportunity for Sentinels to mix some stuff up. Zekken, by the way, still 10-1. Still yet to be punished more than one time. He's dominating.
Absolutely frying.
And this looks like, once more, the pressure's going to come towards mid. And Martin and Magnum have been trying to get aggressive in this area. They just haven't found the opportunities.
An attempt to take an early fight there, but Carmen Core looking a little bit out of sync with the high-low, but Martin's been pushed forward, so they want to fight this.
I think Martin is just looking to catch Zekken as he powers his way up mid, trying to position himself into an unusual spot.
Really close, Trailblazer. Using the close corner, Martin! Wasn't stunned up there, actually. Catch him, but still the trade's there. Does Martin not have his gate crash? I'm not too sure.
But he did a lot of damage to Sassy. So there has still been damage done there, even though it was a one-for-one trade.
Call is made.
Yeah, this push through is an excellent idea from John Cutie. No Sentinel on the other side for KC means that these gaps do exist.
They're going to be aware of the ramp players, though. Seekers, they should be now used. Spam down and spray down, so Narrate gets both of them.
Are they aware how deep John and Tens are?
It seems like it. Look at that, Narrate, watching for the avenue as a game of time is, but he is going to be granted one. No way! Walked straight into him, should have been a freebie, was not. Shin, he's got so much more to do now. Perfect paranoia, that's 10 setting his team up, but will there be anything to capitalize? It's him himself. He'll the one to follow through, man.
Absolute dismantling so far. In terms of the entry in terms of the lurk play there too, it looked like Narrate had it. His crosshair's in the right place, but I don't think he anticipated the timing being that quick. And this puts an enormous burden onto Magnum and Tamaji.
Running away with the early section of this half here. Horn sent wide. Paranoia only on the one. Zelsis holds it down, but as the instantaneous trade, Thomas, he does not expect that position. So it's 5-1. Sentinels really looking like just a mid-round calling. The ideas initially off the rip, even when KC seemed to get that minor advantage with the first kill, there's always that instant trade coming out.
No, they are absolutely crushing them right now in every department. These are the kind of banger matchups that when one team when you haven't had the opportunity to experience how the two clash and collide, you don't exactly know which way it's going to go.
No.
And when you see it play out like this, you're like, wow, this is spectacular, the way that SEN are just handling everything that KC are throwing at them. But I also feel like KC are not actually being able to define the tempo at any point in these rounds. Maybe this, an eco round where they can take more risks, could be the one.
This is the time to do it. Peeking wide, Shin will respect it now. Shows presence though, so SEN are going to be wanting to re-clear B main just in case.
This Astra smoke does make it a little difficult to do that though. Especially when Zelsis has the pit online, which he's going to want for a post-plant situation probably. If things get dangerous, perhaps he could save it for a rifle.
Abundance of caution from Sentinels here, up against that weaker buy, for good reason.
Haunt thrown over towards A right now, so Carmen Core start to stack B. It didn't see anybody. Sassy might decide to try to use some Sky Util to pull people back away from the B site before this pop happens. But also that means that there won't be Initiator utility with the site hit.
Narrate's running away, no, going back to heaven. Close corner, flash, Martin collects.
That's a great punish, it gives them the kill and it tells them to keep stacking B.
Here we go, Util being forced out of them with Paranoia going flying. The pull on top of it, Tens cannot get through. In fact, spam down to just single digits of HP. There's 20 seconds left. Narrate's still there with the rocket in his back pocket. It's going to be pretty monstrous here. Pit just to get themselves out. 14 seconds left. Time becoming an issue up top. Oh! Second, but Narrate 2 for 2 on the way. Carmen Core full control. And no more chances here. No more chances at all for SEN. That's the danger when you take it slowly. That abundance of caution that I was talking about prior. Doesn't matter if you're playing against the half buy. When you take your time like that, these teams are going to punish you.
I think the big play, I mean, I can't believe, by the way, that Zekken, even in a round where they lose, is pulling out that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is the combo of the ultimate there too, the Yoru ultimate, so that you can spam into the pit, the Raze ult that comes through locking up the round. But the pick that Martin got onto Sassy told them exactly what the play was. And that's what they've been missing the entire time. They've never been able to read what's happening, and even if they got the read, Zekken bowled them over.
Karmakor back into it. Be more than happy with it. Celsius ended up using a cry here.
That one way is a little difficult.
Hello. No disrespect from Zekken. It's not for the util.
And he's one away from getting his ult online. How passive these positions are from Narrate and Magnum. Really far back in spawn.
Martin expecting player to walk right past the back wall there, holding his crosshair for it, but SEN have got different ideas. With ramp control game by John QT, he's lurked himself up there, caught that timing, so with that cleared, the rest of his team now regroups and meets him from mid.
Shin is looking very isolated on the A site. Narrate's trying to get into a position where he could help him. Now gets smoked off. That's going to be a danger signal. Alarm bells ringing.
Yep, TenZ ult does this a lot to just try and gather that information.
They're going the other way.
Like what he sees, yeah, going in the opposite direction. Players still ready here to meet them. Close to the corner. Martin has to do more than that, but he still gets the one kill for him. And B main control is there with Thomas. He smokes himself off now, pouring into the side of Sentinels. 20 seconds left. Nightfall, Paranoia near sighted. Spike, drop down. Karmakor rapidly approaching the position. And there's no way for SEN to bail themselves out. That is Karmakor again in complete control.
Another lovely round there. Finding out what's going on with that constant control of B main. So this time, Zelsis not deciding to re-clear that area of the map gave KC good info. Now, they could have been miles away from the play. If they decided to commit A there, into Shin and Narrate, who was not, in screens, then that round could have been very successful for SEN. They decided to pivot in the opposite direction and ended up falling straight into that crossfire from Tamaji and Martin. Zekken ult online though to try and get things back in the hands of Sentinels. I feel like Karmakor have had their most success actually by trying to play for the late round information and the late round picks rather than forcing the fight early on where, we saw Narrate and Martin getting punished in those earlier rounds.
It's almost like a stalemate just being drawn initially. Exchange that util, waiting for it out. Thomasy is going to be in trouble here, potentially. Forwards now with the ult flash into the corner. Rocket rebounds, there's no kill there. Thomasy's already repositioned. Spray by TenZ. Wrangles the beast and eventually takes out Narrate, but the evacuation was successful, so Thomasy is alive, and now he's going to be setting his house back up with the orb up. He's got a free walkout into the site, wraps back to the pillar, sees potential connection. Players are weak, and this is an interesting one. It's an unusual one. Neural theft gives them an idea of where these players might be. The positioning's now highlighted, pointed out, 40 seconds left, but they don't have heaven control. No real way to play this one and fight this. Doubled up together, the double swing is called! Zelsis finds two, flash through, Martin lucky for that one. Straight bullet, just going wide, but it finds the target. And a necessary one at that with 25 seconds left.
25 seconds, TenZ is going round the world. He's got his knife out, trying to make this play happen, but Martin's already read it.
Watching.
They know there's no noise being made here. Someone must be going for a flank. He's missed the angle.
Sassy trying to push the players and pull them away. They're looking the wrong way. Shin up top. Oh my. The minor moments making a difference there. Tiniest of differences.
A comedy or a tragedy, depending on which side of the equation you're on. But that round came down to, as you said, the smallest things. Martin was so aware that a flank was coming through, he just believed that he could spot the head. And then the tap is beautifully timed from Sassy to pull attention away. TenZ had no idea where Shin was.
No idea.
Just didn't clear afters. And now KC have won 3 rounds in a row to get themselves back into this. It looked dominant for Sentinels, but they have lost their grip on this map so far. Oh, here we go, the paranoia play.
Yeah, Dimensional Drift sets it up as well, pinged out a multitude of targets. Martin.
Too many.
Exited out, yeah.
Far too many for Martin to deal with.
And I guess John QT is just playing anti.
That is such a nice play. And Sentinels have destroyed it. A lovely set play from Karmakor. Looked fantastic when they ran it in EMEA, but with 3 players there from Martin, Bit off a little more than he could chew. And Ten's got the punish. So this does look like now a round where Sentinel should be massively favored. Magnum's positioning is the one that I'm looking at, down mid. Wondering if he could get some kind of flank timing to turn this round. But it does look very much like Sentinel should be favored.
Should be, right. Narrates down already onto the floor. He's caught the backhand of Zekken.
And nobody in behind to try
Nobody
to get the
to
trade.
follow. Arm spray. Magnum almost there with it. Nasty, nasty stuff.
So
Three
much
players
danger.
moving, pivoting. 40 seconds left. Making their way over towards mid, but they're making all the noise in the world. So Narrate is hot on their heels. He's right behind them. He's making a call for it.
But he can't afford to make noise, so he's got to travel more slowly. And that's allowed Sentinels the timing to be able to get into the site. Surely somebody is going to be watching for this.
Spike planted.
Surely, right, but doubled up.
Now this is where the Astral could be useful. Not going to be comboed, obviously, with Martins.
It's all about his crossfire setup. First point of contact, close to hell. It's John QT. Boombot will clear him.
And actually,
builds his position up top. Celsius takes the fight.
Oh, it was all trying to distract as well for Shin to get this timing. And now I fear it is simply too late.
He realizes it, not even going for it, despite the money. Obviously, two of his players still basically brought down to 0, but you can feel the tension, man. I mean, how back and forth these two teams are, so closely matched.
It is gutting, though, for Karmine Corp. When you've been having a lot of success, letting the rounds tick down and playing for kind of late round advantages, and you decide, right, we've won 3 in a row, let's change stuff up and go for an aggressive play at the beginning. And that's just Martin not quite realizing that one of the players wasn't caught by the paranoia. Even if they all had been, there might still have been a bit too much there for him to deal with. But Eng is now going to call a timeout. We're headed into a tactical pause for Karmine Corp. Like I said, they tried to adjust the tempo there, but I feel like everything they've been doing in the early round, SEN have had the advantage. But it is so difficult to play patiently and slowly with their composition when you don't have a Cypher or a Killjoy or something like that giving you information.
Yeah. Double duelist, I mean, it necessitates, I think, as well, some of those aggressive plays that you see. Because otherwise you're starved of that mid-round information. You don't have a clue really where players might be landing. When the rounds go late, that seems to be where Karmine Corp are favored.
But we are onto our 11th round, and this only the first time out that either of the coaching staffs has taken.
Right.
Yeah, playing things, you know, trusting their team, even when they were down 5-1, I believe it was, to begin this. So Eng is now going to have his input. The only head coach at this event who's won a Masters before. Which is madness, but that shows you how new a lot of these teams, rosters, coaches are to the big stage here at Madrid. It was a very unusual qualification process. It does feel a little bit like a new era of Valorant, if indeed they can win out against the old guard, of which SEN, frankly, are kind of representing the old guard here. Sassy, Zelsis, Tens, all been to very many of these Masters events, or ones that happened a long time ago.
Karmine Corp, young and spry, looking to try and take a big scalp early, but got to offset this disadvantage in the round. There's a flash repeat through, stun, a little bit too late. Martin rips the head clean off Zekken's shoulders.
And they decide to fight that. I mean, a massive fight there, comboing the Prowlers with the Boombot, so they have even more utility to try to stop Zekken from entering. That's the first time they've actually blunted the tip of the spear.
Flash connects, second one used now, Sassy, no more left available to him, sees.
That is a big seize.
Does connect, yeah. Stops him in his tracks for just a moment. Smoke, finally. Props up, divides up the site. That's going to be putting the fear of God into them, I think. Thomasy just setting that one down, but they realize backside is going to be cleared. Planting a default spot. What's the call now for Sentinels? An aggressive play into the spawn. Paranoia. Oh my, it's almost perfect. Thomasy though, he's got the escape. Planned down at the back of his head, just the TP away, having control, not giving up at all. TP, heard by Tens, breaks it. No funny business allowed. The rate already in, leading the charge and through the back, twisting and turning. Tens, he's brought back up, but it's a 1v3. And now he's got to weave and dodge and juke. Diffuse, being stuck by Shin, half on it already. Too much to deal with, surely it is.
Looked impressive there, that spray control. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried for a moment. But Shin had it under control, and frankly, the numbers just a little too much there for TenZ to deal with. What a retake from KC. That's probably the first one where we've seen them have a proper execute on that. They really nicely come out of this timeout with two big plans. One, to stop the early round aggression in the way that Zekken was dominating them in those first 6 rounds, and the other to be able to set up a clean B retake there. Cosmic Divide, the flash through with the double blast back, perfection. They have a chance to be able to tie this up at the half.
Wouldn't that be something after that blistering pace that SEN have just come out of the gates with? But almost equalized.
And with a major tool in their back pocket with regards to Narrate's ultimate. We've seen Sentinels run some of these slow rounds. And in fact, it was a bit of an eco when Narrate used his showstopper before to be able to get success.
Presence. Prior conditioning by SEN here. Usually there's a player following up, usually Zekken with the Trailblazer.
This time, though, the Prowler not catching onto anybody until it hits Sassy. So I think they can be fairly sure that that isn't where Zekken's going for. Martin!
Wow.
He tries to go for the info peak. Punished.
I know exactly.
Boombot to set it up here. Neural theft as well, so info gathered. I notice anchoring spot, but what do they choose to commit into? A call again made to just contact through.
You do not want to give a timing here for Narrate to pop his ult.
That's what it comes down to. Nade rebounding. Satchel's now in towards the back of the side. Shin! Nasty! Anchor in position! That's 3 in a round. Rocket might not even be necessary. Narrate. Fuse running out, doesn't know where to fire it. Pre-fire into the corner. That is ridiculous. And now just TenZ. Last alive. Disconnecting, snapping the cord and the tether. The C's not there with a paranoia. Blind as a bat. 6-2-6 for Carmen Core. What a return to equalize.
Incredible comeback, powered by an excellent timeout as well taken. Both of the Smokes players, I say both, I suppose Thomas, she's also playing Smokes, but Shin and TenZ up towards the top of the scoreboard. And Shin with a perfect cap put on the end of that.
Absolutely impeccable stuff from the anchor in position. Now earlier we heard from the Rate a little bit before this match as well, heading into things. Let's see what he had to say.
Nerves going into the match. I just think about playing the game that's in front of me and learning as I go, because obviously our team is a very young team. So it's really important for us to just learn from every match. I didn't really have any doubts about whether or not I'd make it to the international stage. For me, I don't really think about winning or losing, but me personally, like every game that we played in EMEA, I just felt like we couldn't lose.
Flying here, but again, no connections. Martin towards the back. Trying to go wide here with a dizzy. Narrate is on one, man. He's on one. Almost there for the ace, but 4 kills eventually shut down in the end, but 7-0.
Merci to the French fans. I appreciate everybody for coming out. It's incredible that so many French fans come to Madrid just to watch us play a video game. It's really an incredible thing, and I can't thank you guys more.
Arena certainly filling up with quite a lot of that. The cheers from the blue wall. You can hear it building, emanating.
And with all of the success that Zekken had on the attack side playing Raze, now our eyes are going to look towards Narrate, who you just heard from, and Martin together. The double-pronged tip of the spear. Does that make it more of a fork, I suppose, the Carmen Core two-pronged fork? But Carmen Core's composition, the double duelist, I think it does look better on the attack side and the retakes. You know, not so much in that mid-round battle on defense. But they weathered the storm. They won 5 out of the latter 6 rounds to be able to tie this one up. And now we get our second part of this big discussion. The things are even here. It resets. We know that Sentinel's retakes have looked unbelievably good. Does Carmen Core offer them the opportunities? Are they able to get advantages early on? What does this half look like?
Familiar scenes from the previous half of how slow going it was just off the rip.
All of this is all just a fake to allow Carmen Core's players to mostly try to take space on A.
It's pulled it forwards. I mean, you've got 4 players of Sentinels looking for a reclear fight through the smoke as well, setting up for the flash through, and the timing gone away. Even as it goes. 2 for 2 here. Carmen Court, in the meantime, walking away through. Going to be hearing them on the ropes. So now the sound cue's betraying them.
John deciding whether or not to swing, tried to find a timing, didn't quite manage it. TenZ still with Paranoia, so they still have Flash Nade to be able to put pressure on these elbow players. Martin, though, is very far away. Do they anticipate this?
Miles away. Could be exactly what they needed. Trip wasn't broken. They're walking all the way in again. TenZ opens himself up, just showing himself at the back. Nade rebounds. Paranoia now. Kind of connection if there is going to be any sort of follow-up from behind.
Oh,
Martin
no
has already caught them. And it's all up to John. Low enough, dodges the flash. Expecting and anticipating, but now 2 players to deal with. The reposition is immaculate from the rate. And with a pistol round under their belt, they're going to be more than happy with it.
Yeah, great attempt there from Carmen Core. I think they looked coordinated as a team. You could see that they had a clear game plan going into it. That got disrupted a little bit by the camera. Their team was thinking about calling the audible and going to punish the players in mid. They decided, no, let's just commit to site, play a post plan, where Martin's positioning, even though he was tripped off, ended up being really important.
Let's go!
That pistol means so much. You were tied 6-6. You've taken the lead for, I think, the first time in this map.
Feeling of control returning a little bit for Carmen Court. Too used to being on the back foot. Hasn't happened too much, really.
No, and it's another one of these rounds where we're just seeing both teams rotate around away from each other.
Narrate's hunting. Yeah, he's hunting. You can smell the blood in the water. Backing down, wants a little bit more as well. Just some stray warning shots popped off.
It would be a major ultimate to try to get up.
That's part of the reason why he's playing so aggressive.
And I think the other reason is both of these teams want to play disruptive against the other team's retakes. You see them on paper, both of these teams have ridiculous retake win percentages, especially on split. So trying to play aggressive and catch timings in the post plant, one of the best ways to disrupt that.
Hello.
That's an anticipation from John Cutie, though.
Expecting it. Surely no danger, though, in the round.
I don't believe so. I think these players are just going to look to die to spike. They do not want to start the ult cycle going for KC. It's disciplined. It's a good call.
Yeah. Not the time there. Everybody going down.
Martin did actually manage to pick up a kill, but he was nowhere near getting the ult online. So this is going to be a pretty dry bonus round with some good weaponry, but no danger particularly coming from the ultimate side of things. We've seen KC not really rely on too many of their set play ideas here. They threw kind of two, I suppose, the B retake, and then that aggression with the Euro ultimate and the Paranoia. But on their attack side, we could still see a lot of new stuff that KC have cooked up for Masters Madrid.
KC being one of the more creative teams that we've got at this event, really innovating in terms of just the compositions, even ways to counter-strat. Looking up through there with a Flash Prowler. Right through the snake bite. They do not care, and TenZ just taking a peek there from heaven. Punished. Celsius spotted. Boombot lucky. He gets away, hightailing it, but guess what? Right behind him is Narrate.
Sentinels are trying to apply pressure with these peaks in B Heaven. The first one got punished. Zelsis also looking for information, seeing if he can catch somebody. It's a little worrying here if John Cutie gets pushed away, but Shin almost taking the fight.
There it is. Walking right into it. Good crosshair placement from Zelsis, and he recognizes it as a threat coming from behind. Satchel through! John! What is that? QT quality tactics. This man just hitting nasty shot. C's avoided. Narrowly now, but 2 players left to stand here for Carmen Court. Spike in their possession.
Look at this flank. This is really nice from Zekken and Sassy. It's going to be unexpected.
30 seconds left.
Magnum's stuck in the middle of the map. He doesn't know where to go here. They only have 25 seconds.
Wondering about 20
John's
seconds.
read it.
This fight is so important.
Unbelievable.
He wins that. 4 HP and a dream.
And now look how far away they are.
They are miles away, but they know it. It's going to be planning towards B so they can get a jog on and get a move on.
Oh, we missed it.
Magnum, he missed it. Has to stick it again for the plant. Luckily, time to spare. Horn thrown. But that's a critical mistake, honestly. He might not have time now to reposition. Backing to the pillar. Fast through Satchel in the back. And that's just good comms. Knowing that Magnum was that low, all adds up for Zekken to just run him down with a classic.
Very well done. I'm amazed, frankly, that John was able to get both of those kills. It did look a little off from KC. As Narrate went for that blast pack peak, where was the second player? The spacing, not quite there. Now, John's aim, fantastic. And the spray control, too, to be able to pick up the second is ridiculous. But KC are going to need to have super tight play if they want to be able to keep this advantage.
Crowd building up. Barrier's going to be dropping. Carmine Core fully grouped up as 5. By around 4 but a Haunt and a TP, so.
Your fear.
Gain control, Nightfall scatters. Going wide, Sassy. There is danger here for him. He's tucked in a very forward position.
He's dead.
Follow-up, yeah, he can't see or hear. Bloody thing, Narrate already into the back of the side. Magnum now with the plant. And Narrate wants to go hunting for a little bit more this time, aware of it. Both of these teams trying to disrupt that retake potential, and it's only just equalized it now 4-2-4. How does this get played? Into the post plant, players close up, into the position still with the Paranoia available. Flash through, now the Paranoia, it's there, spraying forwards, gate crash wide, damage done to Martin, but he still survives. Alive and kicking into the back of the side is Magnum, tucking, dodging, weaving, tens forwards. This is relentless by SEN.
Really lovely play. Relying on that individual ability that's coming out from Tens and Zekken. They've been tearing apart the KC players in terms of duels taken. And you see the difference in style there. Really solid awareness to be able to punish Narrate, who went for that same piece of aggression. Something now that SEN are expecting. But in terms of just also the duels won, I mean, Tens is swinging. Not completely alone, but certainly going to try to take the 1v1s. And they're winning them. So now the score is 8-8, but the economic advantage in favor of SEN. KC can't buy. SEN have ults. Primed to take the lead back.
Closely matched. Such a high degree between these two teams here. Satchel.
Zelsis got spotted by the Prowler.
Yep, spotted. Haunt cleared. He needs some help here. Decoy forwards. Showstopper relieved from Zekken. That was just to try and spot that one player. He's got a timing. He's right past him. Ships in the night. All the way through. Shin wins it out, but still the follow-up there from Tens. Hopping across the box. This man is just hunting them down.
And if that fight in mid had gone slightly better, Narrate's timing might have been worth something. But now is stuck in a 1v4. They have the timing to be able to go and look for him. And they pick it up. Sentinels deal with that. It was scrappy, but they came out to the good in mid. That was absolute chaos, but I'll tell you what, Zekken and Tens look amazing in those spots. When things get really messy. Look at Tens here. The way that he plays around all of the smokes and decides to go in aggro, he just looks really aware and quick in these moments. And now he's going to pick up the operator. We saw some unbelievable rounds.
I mean, some silly rounds.
One in particular. Oh, yeah. And here we go, fast up mid for KC.
Narrate! He's punished! Oh, he's a big player for Carmine Core, especially when he had the rocket available, but he's taken out early. Haunt broken.
The molly was
position.
The molly was amazing from Zelsis. He caught a little bit, I believe, of vulnerable onto Narrate, so that he only needed half the spam to be able to take him down. Great punish. I mean, the decision making to do that so quickly and land it and not get caught with utility in your hands. Very sharp. Pressure back on KC.
Yeah. Silence settling in, isn't it? Carmine Core don't really have that advantage. Maybe just hoping to fake some presence with Marty on the other side of the side, but a jiggle is good from Sassy. He gets that information now. Gets himself back. Sentinel's not really biting that one. Already to full rotation. Coming through. But time to spare for Carmine Core. They fake and switch and pivot.
And Martin has been continuing to put a little bit of pressure onto John Cudy's setup. He knows that there's a Cypher playing here. He knows where this trip is too. His clone caught it. Didn't break it, of course. But he hasn't made too much noise up here.
As we divide. Feels like B now, but breaking the trips as well. It's all over the place. Zelsis just takes a peek, take a gander. Zekken, is your turn to shine. Swings out wide. There's that operator. Hello! What a surprise. 12 seconds left. There is no way in hell Martin has any chance in this round now. Just got to give it up. Waiting at the sidelines now, and the team going to be simmering.
Economy crushed. this is where SEN are starting to pull away. And it's not based on the retake stuff. It's based on punishing, again, that level of aggression from KC. And they did win one of the previous important rifle rounds by going for a slower paced retake, stopping their 8 from getting inside that smoke. But these rounds, they've just shut Karmine Corp's early round ideas down. And now SEN are primed to pull away to a 3-round advantage. Only 2 away from taking the map. This is where things really matter. The pressure starts to mount. And these players who are new to a stage this big, most of them, going to be listening to their coaches here, getting that input and trying to stabilize themselves. They did look a little bit shaky, I would say, in the game against FPX to open things up. I don't think it was the best performance we've seen from KC. Today looks a bit cleaner, but how are they going to perform in the big moments, the ones that test you and add all of that mental weight?
Could argue outside of that EMEA finals, there really hasn't been anything bigger. Think about the stakes of this one. You win this series, you book the ticket to the playoffs. Not just a couple of days rest, but listen, that's preparation time. That's you going through as presumably a bit of the higher seed.
And that's dodging the other sharks in the water.
Oh yeah, that lower, I mean, we call it a lower bracket, but I mean, the losing teams, there are no bad teams at this event.
Nah. So KC here have some ultimates that might end up making the difference. Martin could get the Dimensional Drift online this round and cook something really interesting up. We're not counting Karmine Corp out by any means, but SEN are favored here. And look, Zekken with the op.
Yeah, adjusting. Nails a shot straight into the 8. Backing away here with the paranoia. Has to respect the TP. Through into the back of the site. Karmine Corp going to be given this one. What's the call now? Grouped up. Looks like it. Ready to try and take this fight. Shorty. Close. Flash. Satchel. Great movement. Zekken is blinded up entirely there. Couldn't see a bloody thing. And I wants to have another go of it! What a snap. And what an adjustment. Right before your troubles. And now the fight taken straight to them. They can't withstand it. This kind of pressure is way too much. And even Shin spotted out. Poor Shin.
That is an amazing round from Zekken. And the setup from the rest of his team there too. Tens throws a paranoia through for him to be able to blast back onto them. Insane value from the blast backs. He's full blind when he decides to use the one to disengage.
Get the hell out of here.
And then goes back in with the shorty. And that's following up on that blind.
Punishing the aggression, the game plans of Karmine Corp. Picked apart, plucked apart, the threads are unraveling.
And this round, it's a must-win for KC. Rifles, ults, they have it all.
Now's the time to offload all of them. Gotta get your head back in the game. Gotta try and stand a chance. But we were big enough SEN's defensive side. See a flash connects, giving that information forwards. Dimensional Drift gonna be clearing out that site, so it gives Karmine Corp the go-ahead. They know it's now fully cleared out. Stray bullet, Sassy's a kill trip. Set that one up, rocket, forwards. Everybody narrowly avoiding, just dodging away from it. Fuse running out. Zekken.
Damage.
Big damage. Sassy though, he's regrouped and refound that angle. TP broken, no gate crash for you, but still. Shin's in the backlines here. Flash repeat of Martin seeking to do some damage and take some risks, potentially tear away a couple of these players because they are disadvantaged. And this is SEN looking all the way now, set up for that 12th round. It's going to have to be hero moments. It's going to have to be individuals putting up big performances. Another flash. It's perfection. It clears them out in the open. One player left to stand. It's Shin.
It's just not possible, man. There's just absolutely no way he can hold on. The Sentinel's retake utility there was perfect. There is no other word to describe it. They put pressure over towards ramp, grab a kill. They back off. They dog out through heaven. They have this kill trip to be able to set up at the start too. They then have another paranoia to layer on top of it. As they blast back into elbow, that catches onto Martin. So many waves of things. And KC's post-plant aggression cannot find any timing. They can't disrupt it, can't stop it. The war train keeps on going. 6 rounds in a row have taken SEN from losing to map point.
It's all in from Karmine Corp. This is it. Showing her hands a little bit early, forcing out the nade. Second, the timing for the wall. Paladin spots him, and the raid's finished. Run and gun. Drive by, going wide. Anger in position of Sassy. A safety in numbers, and numbers are arriving, but he doesn't need them. Sassy, this man's in a class of his own when he's really on fire. And once more, poor Shin left alone for things, but that is Sentinels leading the charge and leading this series.
What outrageous dominance in the second half. The first, full credit to KC. They came back into it and made a go of that.
They really did.
But when Sen got onto defense, there was no stopping them.
One of the scariest teams out there, of course. An absolutely electric first map and even more to come.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.